Now, ladies and gentlemen, we'll finish off today. I mentioned we've got a couple of good integration stories to go through, ladies and gentlemen. They show you how well people are integrating into British society, if you haven't seen, ladies and gentlemen. This is a guy just as British as you and me, ladies and gentlemen, just as British as you and me, marketing his lovely, inclusive face coverings whilst using the slogan, the campaign slogan, if you will, of no face, no case. This is apparently what successful integration looks like, ladies and gentlemen.
What's going on, mate? Comedian, B. Come on. Lag out. No face, no case. What's going on, my people? In all our shops, alhamdulillah. This Saturday, inshallah, if you guys need it, £5 each, my brothers. Please start buying them now. I don't want you to come the day before and find out that we have run out. I want to be able to facilitate this for the ends, inshallah. But this one, because I don't like the other one. The other one makes Muslims look like criminals. You know, the I one. None of that. Please, my brothers, come and start buying it now so I can get more stock in to facilitate everyone for the day. I don't want anyone...
He's worried about Muslims looking like criminals when he literally puts it on and says, no face, no case. Why would you need to worry about a case? If you're not a criminal, why would you need to worry about a case? The stereotypes write themselves, don't they, ladies and gentlemen? The thing is, we get blamed for noticing. We get blamed for, merely pattern recognizing, if you will. But then you literally have this guy going, Alhamdulillah, no face, no case. This is, the meme where it's like the Japanese sort of manga guy with the butterfly, and people are using it as like the "is this" meme, like I put it here, "is this integration?" See if I can flash the meme up on screen somewhere in the editing department. I don't know, but you know what I mean. This is apparently what successful integration looks like. Another apparent example of successful integration what it looks like, ladies and gentlemen. How we're told that these people are just as British as you and me, just as Welsh, English, etc. as anybody else. Despite the fact that people have ancestors that go back thousands of years, and these people likely just got here less than a generation, or maybe even just a generation ago. This is from the Oxford Rape Gang, ladies and gentlemen. This is absolutely thing. I'll just let the video scroll in the background. I won't actually play it with any volume or anything like that. It's only a screen recording with music over the top of it anyway. And you can pause this video at any point if you want to read the actual stuff on screen itself. But this is something known, what these Oxford grooming rapists, ladies and gentlemen, these Oxford foreign child rape gang called their car, they called it the shag wagon. That's what they called the car that they would pick up the girls in, rape them and dump them. Everything happened in that Serena. So that's the brand of the car, the name of the car, the model of the car. Same victim said the men would take it in turns to have sex with her, i.e. rape her, i.e. they pick her up in the car, take her to a secluded place, and then run through her without her consent, obviously. This is what we're talking about here, ladies and gentlemen. This is your integration. This is your integration. Videos like this, where it says things like Assad Hussein Munal Islam received the longest sentences out of a gang of 8 men who carried out sex attacks on vulnerable teenagers in Oxford. Kamir Iqbal and Rahim Ahmed both get 12 years for the sex attack. She praised victims, so this is talking about, we'll rewind this a bit quick. Investigating Officer DS Nicola Douglas branded the gang's crimes abhorrent, adding none of the perpetrators have admitted their guilt or shown any remorse. She praised the victims for coming forward. The impact of these offences on the victims, their families and relationships cannot be understated. They are destroying communities. No face, no case, ladies and gentlemen. That's clearly the mistake that these guys made. The government, obviously, completely free of any kind of culpability. Probably would have been solved with digital ID. You know what I mean? Haji Khan wouldn't have had the horrific things happen if he just had a digital ID, right? If he just had a Brit card. One victim said of the vehicle, they would pick the girls up, have sex with them and dump them. Everything happened in that Serena. Same victim said the same men would take turns and have sex with her, that the gang rapes take place after she was plied with drink and drugs. All the while, ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned before, why Sadiq Khan, this is a bit of friendly advice for you, good sir, and for the rest of you goddamn, disgusting countrymen and women, take them back with you. Leave while you still can. Leave now. Self-deport, right? Self-remigrate whilst you are still able to. That would be my advice for a lot of people in these areas. because it's not going to stop. It's going to get a lot worse. And at this point, the Liberals will have to realise something. They'll have to realise that either people came here not because they wanted to integrate, assimilate, and to make our society better, but to take it over, and that flies directly in the face of their multiculturalism, diversity, oh, let's all get round together, hold hands and sing Kumbaya narrative, right? They'll either have to admit that they were obviously wrong about that entire thing, and that people are here for war. Well, that's really the only thing they'll have to admit, really. There's not really any choice. They'll have to admit that they're wrong eventually, or they're going to be on the side of against their own people. And I would not advise that, because people are not in a very forgiving mood, ladies and gentlemen. You still have time. If you've been a supporter of these initiatives, right, if you've been a supporter of the left wing and so on, and how suicidal they have gone, right? Not even saying nobody from the left has never, ever necessarily had any good ideas. Right? I won't even go as far to say that, right? But you have to admit that you guys are problems. And the only thing is, you're dragging us down with you with these initiatives. Think of how many people have already been sacrificed. No more need to be sacrificed. Can we stop sacrificing our kids, please? But we have to look in the mirror for that. But we also have to understand exactly what others came here for. And then you understand that not everybody is the same. Not everybody thinks the same. The only way you can have your liberal utopia, multicultural, diverse, whatever else, is that if everybody else thinks exactly the same as you do. And that is possibly the most prideful and arrogant thing that you could ever think. That, yes, I must be so good. I must be so understanding about morality, about all manner of things, about sense, about logic, about all these different things, that everyone else must think the same as me. They don't. They don't, because there's people that did this, they don't have any remorse, they think it's a good thing, and they would do it all again, and the communities would hide them as well. The communities would cover for them all the same. They would tear down our police stations to get their people out of jail, even though they know they've done the most heinous crimes ever. Wake the fuck up and smell the coffee. Speaking of coffee, that's exactly what I'm going to pour myself a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Cheers. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, all these lovely integration success stories we're going over. Don't you just feel so enriched? Don't you just feel so enriched? And what else has come to enrich us, ladies and gentlemen, getting on to the last part of the show now, is that the Remembrance Sunday parade, our Remembrance Sunday for our war dead, mind you, the kind of people that fought, at least it would seem at one point, for the very freedom that you have, and now you burn their flags and spit on their memory and say how evil and disgusting they were, right? Remembrance Sunday parade cancelled over health and safety fears. This is where we are in the UK now. We can't even honour our own war dead on the day that the guns stopped firing, right? With any kind of parade or whatever for safety concerns. Yeah, but ladies and gentlemen, diversity was so great. Why all of a sudden do we need all these barriers? Why all of a sudden do we need to cancel our own events? We never had to cancel events before. We never ever had to cancel Remembrance Day events before. Right? At least none that I'm aware of. British Legion branch says council officials cited attack on Liverpool FC victory parade in their letter. Remembrance Sunday parade that has taken place every year since the First World War has been cancelled amid claims of health and safety issues. Veterans in the local community in Upton on the Wirral Merseyside have left outrage after the event held to commemorate soldiers from the town who died in the First and Second World Wars was scaled back to just wreath laying. The local British Legion branch said they had appealed to the local council for help on paying public liability insurance and asked the police to assist with road closures. Police cited the car ramming attack on Liverpool FC's Premier League victory parade on May 26th as a reason to be cautious. As a little, I thought I clicked on a Telegraph link that I thought was going to take me to the article about it, but apparently there isn't one about it. So that was obviously, there was video that came out of the attack on Liverpool FC victory parade day. Obviously a lot of speculation on who the driver was. I don't believe I've seen the latest on who they arrested for it. I'm just going to check I'm just going to check to see if there's anything in here now. There we go. So the driver, 15-year-old white British man from the Liverpool area, was arrested at the scene. Merseyside Police Assist Chief Constable Jenny Sims said the incident was not being treated as terrorism. 4 people trapped beneath the car, including a child, were rescued. So this is one of those times, ladies and gentlemen. One of those times, obviously the left leap on. And there's admittedly a lot of things, like I've said time and time again, we have to look at ourselves in our own society as well. Look at the degeneracy that we tolerate and the degeneracy that we commit. Obviously, it's a big thing we need to look at as well. I'm glad everybody survived. I don't believe anybody ended up dying. However, 1 child sustained serious injuries and 27 were taken to hospital. I believe they weren't treating it as terrorism because I believe it was more so confusion. The street wasn't blocked off. Driver took a wrong turn down the street, ended up being confronted with a massive mob, tried to get out of it. People were mobbing the car, wondering what the fuck he was doing. And then he ended up, reversing and driving through the crowd, potentially fearing for his life, right? He's a 53-year-old British man. So again, not good, not good. It's one of those things that the left jumps over, but, you only got to look at many, many other instances, right, to understand where the real problem is. The Legion branch, which has only 4 active members, claimed a Wirral official wrote in a letter, if we sound a bit pedantic on this, just following incidents like the one at Liverpool Parade, we need to keep everyone safe. If police were still in attendance, they have the powers to do a rolling roadblock and, of course, can arrest anyone who's causing trouble, but local authorities do not have any of these powers, so you have to mitigate against things happening. The reason why I speculate that there might be more to it than just the Liverpool one in this instance, ladies and gentlemen, because we've seen leftists and we've seen a lot of like the pro-pallies and the other mobs assemble on Remembrance Day to interrupt services. We've seen that time and time again. We saw it last year, I believe it was. I believe I covered it last year, that on Remembrance Sunday, there was a group of very disrespectful foreign and Muslims nearby that were blasting Islamic music during the minute silence. You can go back. It's in one of my very, very early podcast. It might have even been before I started this one. It might have been on my other podcast, but there was indeed a video of Muslims, likely foreigners, playing the music to deliberately disrupt the 2-minute silence. And obviously cenotaphs have been defaced with pro-Palestine and jihadi graffiti and all the rest of it. I think that's where the most of the concern is coming from, right? With the heightened tensions that are happening in this country right now, I think they're using the Liverpool thing as a little bit of a scapegoat. I think they're using that incident as a bit of a scapegoat. I don't think they're really concerned about a regular British person going down the wrong street and end up tragically resulting in a lot of people having serious injuries because of could have been either a misunderstanding or could have been an attack. Who knows? I don't think so. I think that they have a lot bigger concerns, right? And like I mentioned, ladies and gentlemen, one of the things that people do want to have concerns about, and again, this is where I'm going to finish off on this video, really highlights that if you are, so again, supporting all these initiatives and so on, supporting the diversity stuff, supporting because you think you're on the same side as these people, go back and watch one of my older clips where it was Dinesh D'Souza sitting down with an imam who used to be in extremist circles. He would say that he would always use the left because the left lacks principle. They're easily brainwashed. You won't find a radical Muslim who'll vote for Donald Trump or go with any conservative because conservative has principle. They can't be brainwashed. There was a masked up, again, no face, no case, bunch of Muslims walking through this town. I believe this is somewhere in England. And a leftist with a microphone shouts, "We're on the same side, bruv." They're shouting Allahu Akbar and all the rest of it. The leftists, the white, die hard for on the liberals that vote the right way, the immigrants that vote the right way, liberal types, right? And then one of the guys that are in the parade, one of the Muslims, says, "No, we're not." And he tries to go, "Yes, we are." As in, "No, I know better than you that I'm on your side. We're on the same side." When in such a short sentence, the Muslim is telling him, "Look, we're using you. We're using you. You're just too stupid to realize it." By saying, "I'm going to tell you that we are not on the same side, and then you're going to continue to believe that we are. and we're going to use that to take over your country and subjugate your people. This is such an amazing video. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen.
There's no need for that. We're on the safe side, bro.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are, bro.
No.
Funny. Play one more time.
There's no need for that. We're on the safe side, bro.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are, bro.
There's no need for that. We're on the same side, bruv. No, we're not. Yes, we are. Truly hilarious. Will this person learn their lesson? Probably not. By the time that they learn it, will it potentially be too late? If not for all of us, definitely for them. Very likely. Very likely. So as I was saying, these people now, ladies and gentlemen, that have come here with this ideology, they feel so emboldened now that they can tell you to your face and on camera that these people who they're campaigning for, these are the stand-up to, pardon me, these are the stand-up to racism types. These are the die on their frigging sword, falling so hard on their sword for these immigrants so long as they vote the right way types. They genuinely believe that we're on the same side, like as in they're on the same side as these people. Then the other side is literally telling you to your face, I am not your friend. We are not on the same side. What does that tell you, ladies and gentlemen? How emboldened that they've been made to feel, how emboldened that they feel that they can feel, and yet people still try to bend over backwards and simp for these people and convince themselves that they are doing good virtue by simping for these people, and they will be used to destroy all of us. So like I said, if you're in your little union groups and whatever else, that you're, supporting all of these causes and whatever else, you're supporting your own damnation, really have a think. Really go back and have a good look in the mirror tonight. Really think about where your ideology, and you're espousing it and you're believing it and whatever else, where it is taking not only yourself, but the rest of us as a country. And that's where the biggest lie is that what people believe, and what people think, doesn't have an impact on other people. It absolutely does. It absolutely does. And that's why you should care what people believe, which is why I care what you believe. It's why I care what these people believe. Because it's coming, if it hasn't already done so, for communities like ours. I can promise you that. If you live in an area like mine, which seems to have avoided most of it as of yet. Again, it's an area people flee to, and they flee the cities and so on. And again, those cities are going to, become completely overrun eventually, and where the people supposed to go? They got to colonize all of the land, haven't they? They got to take over all of the land. And that means that if we don't do anything, it will be our day in Sharia court at some point in the future. If you enjoyed that clip, then make sure to go on over to the Voice of the Valleys X page at VOT_Valleys on X. We're also on Instagram at Voice of the Valleys. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, comment, all of that good stuff. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again soon. Godspeed.